battle. Okay. Ooh. Okay. One battle after another is I don't know. It's my first actual watch of Tana Taylor acting. She plays Beverly Hills, Perfida Beverly Hills in this movie, and she kills it. Like I did not know that woman is so body smoking. Like she's okay. Okay, that's enough. I'm thirsty now. So one battle after another is basically my first watch is Tana Taylor, and she comes through as this character called Perfida Beverly Hills, who happens to be part of some anti-ICE, revolutionist group called the French 75. I didn't get why they called it the French 75 because they're not French, but I do get it. Liberalism is all about fighting, and that's kind of what the French always stood for, being revolutionaries. Is okay. Now, back up. Okay, oopsie. So we get to see the film as what we first see as Perfida, aka Tana Taylor's character, is fighting this whole what we get to know is like the American Mexican border patrol people. They free some immigrants who've been trapped there, and she goes particularly to the captain and seems to have this, I don't know if I'll call this officer crime fetish that seems to go off for the majority of the movie, but we enjoy that fetish because it's hot and sexy and whatnot. So she and her band of revolutionaries attack this whole, an ICE building that's at the U.S.-Mexican border, and then she gets on a, freaky with the captain. Eventually, they go on, and we get to see that she's dating Leonardo DiCaprio's character. I don't remember his name. I think something H, but she's dating him, and, well, things kind of get on from there. Now, we get to see that they are trying to bomb a courthouse because someone made an abortion bill against some women, and it is very practical. I like the fight for women's right. I support. I'm a feminist. I guess some guys don't like to say that because it feels weird, but I'm a feminist. I love to support my babies and my pretty girls and my wives and my daughters and my friends and the people around me. They're great people. Women should be treated like women, like equals, not subs. Okay? Now back to real. So they do all this while also making love, having sex, having fun, whatever. The relationship is all right. Now, we also get to see that through the weeks, she also has another encounter with Captain Ice Pants. Okay, you get why I say Ice Pants when you watch the movie. So eventually, it seems we get a time jump. This time, she's somewhat pregnant, and the man she's dating, Leonardo DiCaprio's character, is not really liking her attitude towards the pregnancy. She feels to, I don't know how you put it now. I know pregnant women behave differently. I can't necessarily give like a big status quo for white people who get pregnant or are pregnant will behave. So I can't necessarily tell you, oh, she's behaving wrong. I don't think she's behaving wrong. I think she's behaving like a person who's pregnant. It's okay. Now, so, well, she's pregnant now, and, the man is not, I don't know, but anyway, she gives birth, and the relationship just gets worse. Okay? It just goes like downhill, like seriously. Now, gets so bad, she starts having this postpartum depression about how the man she's in a relationship with loves the daughter more than her, and it gets like mentally weird because she's like competing with her whole daughter for a man's affection. It doesn't make sense because, girl, you birthed this thing, like it came out of your VAGI, like, girl, it isn't easy to give birth to a child, much less you not hitting on your own child. Like, think about it. Okay, that's the think piece for another day. Okay, so now she decides that she wants to be a revolutionary. Again, I doesn't want to be a mom, doesn't want to be a family with this guy and her daughter. So she decides to flee. And eventually she's arrested by the police and decides, with the help of Captain Ice Pants, that, his name is actually Captain Lockjaw, by the way. She decides with him that, the best thing is to go into witness protection against the French 75, which is her revolutionary group. That way she could get protected, she won't go to jail, she could live her life, okay? Now, that basically is where our story ends. I mean, we do see her get into what seems like a sexual type of relationship with Captain Lockjaw, but she doesn't stay in the relationship, she flees, and that's where our part of the movie ends. We don't see her again to the end of the movie. She doesn't come out again. Goodbye, Tana Taylor. Now, Captain Lockjaw is obviously infuriated and angry and sad because he actually did love her, but, 15 years go by. Obviously, since she went to witness protection, some members of the French 75 have been arrested by the police, so the band eventually gets separated and, everybody goes on their own way. Now, 16 years go by, and we see her daughter with the man that's Leonardo DiCaprio's character now. are, living in what we see is called, I think the name Banting Crypt or something. I don't remember the name of the place, but it's like a rural or suburban area in some part of America. And, they're living there. And it's like, yo, Leonardo DiCaprio is not like a drug addict. He's drunk. His brain is fried. He's always paranoid. And I really love his action here. Like, he really puts on that part of someone who's demented, even from, not demented, like, someone who's paranoid and suffering from addiction and all that, substance abuse. Because even from the way he speaks in the movie to the way he acts to the whole role itself, it really just pulls it right. Okay, I love that. Shout out to him, by the way. Well, the daughter is like 15, 16. She's a beautiful girl. She's blonde. She's relentless. She has this back and forth relationship with her dad because daddy is a crackhead and all that. okay, I'm going back up now. Okay, so one day Captain Lockjaw is still calling her for ICE now. Okay, ICE is the, I don't know, I think you should know ICE. I don't have to define what ICE is, but essentially, I don't know what the full meaning is, but essentially is a MAGA, I won't say MAGA, but I don't know, it got popular during President Trump, so I don't know, but it's essentially a security agency that's responsible for mass deportation of illegal immigrants, quote unquote. Illegal immigrants, okay? Now, so he is a captain of ICE, and he's invited to some rich ass party to get to be part of what's called a Sunshine Club or something like that. Now he gets there, he goes there, and he's invited at home. Hey guy, you can become part of a club, but this is a white supremacist club. But we don't want to say white supremacist because we're rich and bougie, so we're not going to use the word white supremacist, but we're a white supremacist club. And to be part of our club, you have to see the black race or any other race as inferior. You must not have sex with black women or any color women. You must not have any interracial relationship. You must be white, exactly. Now, he gets to say that he's never had any of these, fully knowing that he loves or he had loved a black woman, and since then he has not gotten married, a girlfriend, I don't know, but he never got married, so that's his love of his life. So he had to deny her and say he'd never done any of that, he's always been white, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And obviously they told him they'd have to investigate and make sure that he's not lying, which is pretty much sensible, right? They have to confirm. They can't just let anybody into the club, right? Now, fast forward, he goes on crying, but eventually he does a little bit of an investigation to try to catch one of the members of the French Revolution, or 75, French 75, that's the right name, yeah. So he catches one of them, and fortunately that one had an alarm set up in case he was caught to alert the rest of the team, which goes on successfully, reaching Bob and Willa Ferguson in whatever they wear. Now, this person is abducted and squeals, unfortunately, because his family is threatened. I mean, I can't blame him. It's like, I have a heart, man. I cannot tell you to betray your family for people who may not even care, okay? So he tells them, okay, this is where they are. And so Colonel Lockjaw prefers, knowing fully well now that he has a daughter, or he may have a daughter now, the fact that Willa may be, Ferguson or Bob's daughter, Bob or Captain Lockjaw's daughter, I don't know who, because we never actually got an authenticity, like a DNA testing, but in the movie, it was confirmed that Willa is actually Captain Lockjaw's daughter, which is kind of messed up considering, like, girl, I don't even know. But anyways, let's go. So he decides that he wanted to go take back his daughter. And I don't know if maybe his intention was to kill her, to hide her, to embrace her. I do not know what his intentions were. But move on. Now he decides to fake an operation. Not really fake, but he gets to create a tip that some place there or some organization there is doing the heroin trafficking, and he's going there to go dismantle it. Now he goes there at the front and uses the opportunity to try to get to Bob and Willa Ferguson. He goes to Willa's school, goes to Bob's house, tries to smoke them out. Eventually they caught Bob, aka Leonardo DiCaprio's character. Okay. Now Willa, on the other hand, thankfully is saved by another member of the French 75. I can't remember her name, but she's a popular actress who was in the Scary Movie franchise. I love her. And I love her range from being a thriller, horror, not really horror, thriller actress to being a comedy actress, or comedy to thriller. She does great. She's awesome. Now, well, Willa is saved and is taken to a convent where she trains and boxes and fights. Now, Bob is trying to get where Willa's location is, but unfortunately, he doesn't remember the French Revolutionary password. He's officially saved by having a conversation with one of the members of the French 75. I don't know if they're called the French 75 because they're 75 members, because they don't seem to have, they're like a lot of people, okay? So, eventually, Bob is captured, okay? Even with the knowledge of Willa's place. Now, I don't want to waste time telling you all the irrelevant shit, but let's just go right into it. Now, for Captain Lockjaw, what happened to him? Well, Captain Lockjaw eventually has to go back to his white supremacist club, okay, because obviously he wasn't able to catch Willa. He tries to go back, and they, after finding out that Captain Lockjaw had some, intermingling with, what's her name again? Perfida Beverly Hills, aka the Pussy Jungle Pussy. Sorry. So that's her alias, Jungle Pussy, aka Perfida Beverly Hills, aka Teyana Taylor's character. Now, with all this all going, the club already knows that he is not a white supremacist because he already had some with a black woman. So they decide to give him a false hope. They tell him, "Oh, you've been accepted. Congratulations." Now, the white perks of the club is that because every member there is rich, he will never be poor. Meaning, you can always ask them for money and they'll help him. That's the whole point of being a member of the club. Like, it's a life thing. It's for life. Okay, so he's happy and excited now that they've accepted him. Now, before he goes, they tell him to step into a room, and as he steps in, the door's locked, gases are released, and we find out that he dies because probably the gases were poison, whatever, but he dies, he's killed. Unfortunately, it was a sad end, but I don't know, I kind of liked him. I liked his twisted nature. I mean, he, before he was killed, told the committee or the club people that, well, he was raped. Okay, he tried to explain the paternity of Willa and by saying he was raped by Jungle Pussy. This is so fucking stupid. But he says that, and obviously they're not stupid. They accept him only to kill him later, just seconds later. So now for Bob and Willa, aka Leonardo DiCaprio's character and the daughter in the series on the movie, they have this tight relationship, this tense relationship, because I think at the end she finds out that, he is not actually her real dad, so in some testament of trust, she tries to ask him, which I know she would know that he already knew, but I don't know, maybe she just wanted, out of desperation, out of anger, to have some reason to shoot him or something. She asks him if he remembers something. It was a code in the French Revolutionary Playbook or handbook or whatever they use, like, how revolutionaries communicate in code, because if you don't do that, the cops might easily find you. So he, fortunately enough, passes, and they kind of make up. By the end of the movie, we see that Willa moves off from. Oh yeah, before that, Bob gives Willa, aka Leonardo DiCaprio's character, gives Willa the daughter a letter from Perfida Beverly Hills, aka Teyana Taylor's character, her mother, which she had written 15 years ago. And in the letter, we see Beverly Hills kind of gets to apologize for being a bad mother, for being an absent mother, and it gives like emotional closure to what's her name again? Willa. It gives emotional closure to Willa. And I think at the end of the day, one good thing I liked about the movie was at the end of the day, Willa does decide to move on from the whole revolutionary roots and moves a new path for herself, rather than following the path led by parents, being a revolutionary and stand this whole drug, stupidity, death thing that was fucking useless, because like, I don't even know why you got all that. Like, it didn't matter. I mean, but she decides to move on from all that violence and try to do something better. Try to find a life of hope and joy and excitement and happiness. And yeah, shout out to the team that made the movie. Great movie. Love recapping it. And for review, I can definitely watch it again. It was a great movie. Teyana Taylor, body smoking, boo. Like, I love her. She's a great woman. She's all that. Like, she's like my aunt or something. So I'm not supposed to be hitting on her, but she's dope. Great for her. Leonardo DiCaprio did a good job acting, as I said. I think the whole cast did well. But shout out to Leonardo DiCaprio. Shout out to the guy who played Captain Lockjaw, and obviously the whole cast did great. Shout out to all of them. Watch the movie reviews like a good 8 out of 10. You can even give it a 9. It's a great movie. I don't see anything wrong. Everybody acted. They did well. I was kind of scared that the movie was too long, but I put it on 1.5 watching, and I still enjoyed it. So, shout out to the team. Great work.